Welcome to the Artist King Podcast number 26. I am your host, DTM. This summer, Artist King caught up with Keef Cross to hear about his latest project, DayBlack, a comic book and a film that's been in the works for some time now, and finally coming to fruition in 2014. I asked him a few questions on his art beginnings, his creative process, and where does the inspiration come from. Somewhere in the conversation, we discussed his website, and as of now, KeefCross.com and DayBlackFilm.com are online and ready to wow the world with the art of Keef Cross. Check out the special DayBlack Screening November 22nd at the Way of the Artist Group Art Show in Buckhead at Atlanta Tech Village. Not only will you get the first look at the DayBlack Film, but Keef will also have the DayBlack comic book issues on deck, plus lots of great art from over 20 artists and ATL. Not to mention the KidRobot giveaways from RevolveScape.com and the year subscription to Adobe Creative Cloud giveaway by the Adobe User Group. That year subscription has a $600 value and gives the user access to Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and countless other software and apps by Adobe. November 22nd, 8 p.m. For more info, www.manoartshows.com. For more on Keef Cross, check him out at KeefCross.com and on social media at Keef Cross. The DayBlack trailer is now available at www.dayblackfilm.com. For more info on this podcast and the Artist King mission, please visit www.artistking.org. Artist King Podcast is sponsored by the law offices of Deborah Gonzalez, Atlanta Tech Village, C4 Atlanta, Wonderroot, Burnaway, RevolveScape.com, Rick Clear Video, VelocityScreenPrint.com, Lucom.com, and DenominatorGraphics.com. Now on to our Keef Cross interview. This is Dan the Man at Artist King Podcast, and I'm sitting here with a great artist, an ATL artist, Keef Cross. Hello, how you doing, Keef?
Hey, how you doing, Dan?
Thank you for stopping through, brother. Thank you for finding time in your busy day.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So, tell us where you're from and what you do.
I am originally from Gary, Indiana. I've been living in Atlanta since I was in kindergarten, and currently, I'm a tattoo artist and a comic book author, artist, illustrator, what have you, and freelance artist.
Okay. So, Gary, Indiana?
Yeah.
Wow.
Gary, Indiana.
How long did you live there? All your life?
No, I was only there maybe till I was about 1 or 2 years old, and my mother ended up moving to Georgia. It's kind of bad in Gary. It's not that bad if you've been living there, but my mom just wanted something a little bit better.
So where'd you go? Where'd y'all move to?
To Atlanta.
To Atlanta. Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
Dang, so you almost been here all your life.
I have, but the thing is, I got that Midwestern accent. Like every time, I can't tell people I'm from here because they never believe it. So I always got to be like, I'm from Gary, even though I don't have any memory of ever living there. But of course, all my family is there, and I would go there every summer to see my father.
Also, so you've been, so you would go back and visit?
I would go back. My father passed about 5 years ago, so I haven't been back as much. But yeah, up until then, it was every summer.
Really?
Yeah, my mom would ship me off there, and I try to call her. You could not find her no more. My mom was gone.
She get gone. Oh wow!
Yeah.
Are you only child?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Really?
On my mother's side, and my dad got a slew of kids.
Okay.
So.
But here in Georgia, it was just you and your mom.
Yeah, just me and my mom.
That's cool. Did you interact? You did interact a lot with your siblings from your dad's side, right?
Not really, because I interacted with two of them, the ones that I kind of grew up with. But my dad, even when he was in his 40s and 50s, he was still like popping them out. So it was so many, I really couldn't keep count.
Okay, but some anyway.
Some of them, yeah.
You did keep up.
Yeah.
And because, and I ask that because you've always, since I've known you, you've always been a friendly guy, and only children. What do you call them? what do you call it, only childs? You know, whatever's.
Yeah.
Kids that are raised by themselves, that don't have siblings, they're kind of selfish and mean.
Oh, okay.
You never come across as that?
Yeah. I don't think I am, man, but usually when people don't know me, I heard that I give off like an unapproachable, type of vibe, which I think is just like a protective something just to keep the bullshit away from me, you know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with that. But if you get to know me and you get to talk to me and we're talking about some things that I could kind of talk about, if we don't have anything to talk about, then I am quiet, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and that I do know. I do understand that about you, but I got used to people like that.
Right.
That are and sometimes they're introverts.
Yeah.
And they just not open to talking every time they meet somebody or all the time. Me, that's not my problem. I talk to anybody.
Right, and especially doing tattoos, you really gotta be like that, and you you have to be sociable. So yeah, man, I'm totally. If I have to be there, I am. But I can be introverted too, you know. But for the most part, I can pretty much adapt to wherever I'm at.
So you're in Georgia, you and your mom. What is your life like that gives you that taste of art?
You mean starting when I was a kid, like?
Yeah. Where was this beginning at?
Yeah. Well, my mother always had me in the arts. She was a teacher, so she always had me in any kind of art related. Even before I knew I could draw, I was always either making pottery or doing some mural at some elementary school with her.
Huh.
So and that's before I even knew I could draw. That stuff that she kind of made me do. And for a while, I would always try to draw. Like I would always trace stuff and go to school and pass out. Like I was a big fraud in school. Like everybody thought I was drawing, but I was really tracing everything. I was tracing everything and passing it off. And
you were a big fraud.
Yeah, I was a big fraud, man.
You were bragging about the artwork, but it was traced.
I was an artist on the yearbook committee and everything, tracing everything. But
and so in those days, you had to like go make copies of stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Oh man, it was something else. But then my grandfather, who was an artist, he just told me, he was like, "Why don't you just try to draw one day? Why don't you just try it?" You know. And I had an X-Men comic. It was Wolverine on the cover fighting the Mandarin. Jim Lee did the cover.
You remember this, huh?
Yeah. I remember because I sat there and I started drawing. I was like, "Oh shit, I am drawing this shit," and it was coming out pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So from that point on, man, and what's weird is the way I draw now is even the same way as I used to trace. Like I draw pretty much like in straight lines, and I think just all those years of tracing just kind of spilled over into my technique.
That was training.
Yeah, it was training. I didn't even know it. Yeah.
That was training. Yes, wax on and wax off.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
Okay, so and then once you drew that scene out of the comic book, you're like, what?
Then I started drawing characters. I started drawing like Fat Albert. I started drawing Heathcliff, like all the little cartoons just on the back of my bus. And there was this other guy on my bus that was just better than everybody. And I would like copy his style and just try to emulate him. And you know, in middle school, elementary school, not even elementary school, middle school, drawing on clothes, airbrushing. I started to airbrush. My mom bought me a kit. Okay. And I remember when Freaknik was here, I was out there spray painting shirts and even dabbled in graffiti a little bit. But the police got involved. I kind of just lost interest on that, man.
Yeah.
Let me just keep it in the sketchbook.
Yeah, who needs that?
Yeah. And,
you
running from the police one night over some art, man. I was like, I'm good.
I did it here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Mosley Park up in Southwest.
Okay.
MLK. And close to Hamilton Homes now. It used to be called High Tower.
Right.
And I knew some graffiti people. And they're like, yeah, come out. I was like, why not? And but I hate running, man. Yeah. I hate running. Yeah. And I was out there a few nights, and then one night somebody ran by and said, the cops are in the park. And I was like, shit. So I grabbed my stuff and I just hid. I wasn't going to run. I just hid in the bush. But yeah, who needs that, man?
Right.
Like that. I'm fat now, but I never liked running anyway.
Yeah, see, now you can get paid to do murals.
Oh, yes. Street art. Yes, baby.
Yeah, that's right. It's totally different now.
Yeah. So what high school did you go to?
I went to Tri-Cities High School.
Oh, okay.
And I was in the Magnet Art program.
Oh, and what was that?
The Magnet Art program is pretty much like The magnet is art, dance, music, all those special little talented courses or whatever, and it was separate from the rest of the school. It was like kind of like extracurricular, and no matter where you live, even if you live out of the district, if you had a talent and you applied, you can go to that school, and they would come bust you out there.
Okay.
So that's why it was called the Magnet program. And,
Magna is MAGNA or magnet?
Yeah, magnet.
Oh, okay. The
Yeah.
attract. Oh, wow. Okay, very nice. Okay. Yeah. And what did you? So, what was your focus? What was your extracurricular focus?
It was art, illustration,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that's basically it. Illustration. And
Why did you? When you first heard of the opportunity? Why did you take it, or what was your thoughts that you were going to learn? What was your goal? What did you think was going to happen?
well, originally I was going to Riverwood High School.
Okay.
I got kicked out of Riverwood High School for tagging walls.
Okay.
The only reason I got caught because this girl that wanted to go to the prom, I told her no, and she snitched on me.
Oh, wow.
I've been tagging. I had this tag. It was just KAC, which was my initials. You know what I'm saying? And I've been tagging that for like a couple years, and everybody kind of knew it was me. I was tagging on basketballs, everything. And then they finally found out, and they kicked me out. So
They didn't make you clean it up and keep you in?
No.
Straight vandalism.
Yeah, it was straight. And I got caught like last day of school or something like that. It was like right at the end, and they was like, all right, you're expelled. I was like, damn. So I already had a friend that was going to Tri-Cities who was in there for a drama. Her name is Saquon, and she's actually on the Motown Broadway show that they're doing now. But she told me to come to Tri-Cities, and that's pretty much how I ended up there.
Okay.
Applied there, took the few drawings that I had because I didn't have too many, and they let me in.
Okay. Okay, so you're in so what is your focus? What do you want? What is your focus there? You're going to school, you're taking those courses in illustration.
Yeah.
And what do you want?
Man, at that point, I didn't know what I wanted. I know I didn't want to go to regular school because I was not the best student academic-wise, but I just knew I wanted to do anything art-related. Like, let me just... anything that I can do, man. Like, it's just like they give you the course of studies, college prep and vocational. And I remember as soon as I found out that you didn't have to be on college prep to go to art school, like I got out of it, and all these classes I didn't have to take anymore. I was so happy because going to art school, they didn't really, you didn't have to take those classes. So yeah, so I do remember that. So
your goal was to get what you needed to get, and then you were planning on going to art school.
Yeah, I did want to go to art school. Now, the first thing I wanted to be was a puppeteer. Like I always wanted to get into animatronics. Yeah, because I was big on like Dark Crystal and anything that Jim Henson was kind of doing. Like I always wanted to get behind and do that, but that opportunity never really came up like I wanted it to. But then I did want to do animation, and then when I went to college, I did go to school for 3D or computer animation.
Okay.
That shit was hard as hell, man. And my class was like 8 in the morning, and we sitting in the dark room and figuring out paths and all this stuff. And I was like, no, this is not what I thought it was going to be. Like just the little technical stuff that you have to do before you even get to the cool stuff. Yeah. I was like, no, that's not for me either. So
that was the Art Institute here in Atlanta?
That was Columbus College of Art and Design in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, how that, what?
Well, I got a scholarship to go there. I got a scholarship to go to SCAD too, but at that point I just wanted to get out of Georgia, and I just wanted to just go somewhere totally different. So I just went all the way to Ohio, man. Yeah.
So you dropped that class, or you dropped out of school?
No, I didn't drop out of school, but I did kind of paint myself in the corner because I dropped all my academic classes until my senior year. So my senior year I had nothing but academics.
Oh, snap.
But then I dropped out. When there's no more art to take, man, I was like, I'm good.
That's enough. Yeah.
And we're paying for it, and so I'm like, I'm not going to be paying for just a bunch of history and math classes. So, but then I majored in illustration there, and it's so funny because I actually took a comic book design class there, but I didn't want to do comic books at that point. So I didn't fully pay attention. Like I knew I wanted to do animation. So, and at that time, the internet and all that stuff wasn't like it is now. Right. Even graphic design was there, and I was like, I don't know what is. I don't know. I didn't want to do that either. But man, if I had known, I would have took all that stuff. Like,
yeah.